Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't touch that dial. This program today is, I think, it's one of the most important programs for the whole year. And it's at the end of the year, but I think it's so important today with the holidays here. And we talk about families and having a good manja, big dinner, you know. So, but there's always that little area that we want to touch on, that maybe this show can help you in some way, help keep the family together. My guest today is from the District Attorney's Office, Assistant District Attorney, and she's a captain of the Domestic Violence Unit. See, the District Attorney's Office has different units, juvenile, domestic, you know, all different units to handle these situations. And so we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about some maybe current events and also what we can do to help and what's going on out there, okay? So my guest, grazie for coming here. I want to thank Risa Furman. Thank you very much. I call you and say, you always have somebody there for me, you know, and I think this program is so important, and we should be, I know I'm thankful, and I think everybody should be thankful. We have a district attorney in this office that really spends 100% time, you know, helping people, okay? Not only adults, but juveniles, before they get in trouble, if they're in trouble, you know, whatever, okay? So being a former police officer, I can speak like that, and I can put the stamp of approval. You're okay. Rock it. Okay. Now.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, thank you for coming. Okay. Now, tell me, what's the scoop out there? Domestic violence, what's the scoop? It's up, down, over, around, or what?
I don't think it's decreasing. I think it's definitely on the increase, sadly. It's unfortunate that it appears to be a part of our everyday life. Virtually everyone has been affected in one way or another. Usually you know someone, a friend, a neighbor, perhaps a relative. It's all pervasive. And of course, we're very aware of what's in the news, and domestic violence sometimes involved with celebrities. Right.
And that's one of the things today. And, you know, we want to talk about that. Now, the one guy that beat up on his girlfriend or his wife.
Chris Brown, perhaps you're talking about in
Rihanna. Yeah, what's the scoop on that now?
You know, I only know what I read because obviously that wasn't here in Pennsylvania, but apparently there was a domestic violence incident between these two singers. Right. And she's a very beautiful woman, Rihanna. Yeah. And the photos indicated a terrible beating. Yeah. But you know, he did plead guilty, I believe, and he was sentenced. So
did they make up, or what's the excuse?
I don't think so. I think there's a stay-away order, from what I read.
They were working, from
what I read. But, you know, hopefully she'll move on and she'll have a good life and put that behind her.
Why is it now? He has everything. Got a lot of money. Got thousands of people come to see him sing or dance, whatever he does, you know, and all of a sudden they have a girlfriend or a wife, and they have to get violent. Is it they drink, drugs, what? I don't know.
It's said, of course I don't get into too much of the background in the prosecuting, but it said that it's power and control, that people have issues with regard to power and control, and when frustrated they lash out. Of course, in the course of my prosecution, I do run into a number of individuals who do have issues with drugs, with alcohol, with, you know, psychiatric issues perhaps, or yeah, and it can all play in, but main overall thrust is that it's a power and control issue.
Well, you just touched on drugs and different reasons, and that's your job, to find out what the problem is, to be able to take care of it. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what your unit's for.
Well, the unit is to prosecute the crimes, make sure that the perpetrator is held accountable, that the victim is taken care of and protected, and that society is protected. You know, we want to make sure that violent people are not out, you know, continuing criminal behavior. But as far as the sentencing recommendation, when it comes time to sentencing, yes, we'd like to have a handle on what some underlying issues might be. So say the individual is, maybe it's not one of the more serious cases and he's placed on probation. Right. We'd want to make, as part of, you know, recommendation to the judge, that as part of his probation he get either alcohol treatment or a 10-day A.
Well, you have a drug court too.
We do.
Right? Mm-hmm. And there's another, Judge Smythe has a new,
starting
what's that about? I got to get Judge in here. He promoted me to lieutenant when I was a captain.
Did he? Yeah.
So, but I understand he has a new one where there's a problem with a mental?
Yes, that's a mental
That's
health
another
court.
unit?
That's starting up as well. And again, the DA's office is being very,
Cooperative.
forward-thinking and innovative in this area. So there'll be the drug court, and now there'll be the mental health court. And Judge Smythe will be in charge of that. Judge O'Neill works on the drug court.
Right. I had Judge Hodgson here, and he told me about that new unit, about Joe Smythe. So, Joe, I'm going to be giving you a call right at the first of the year, get your feet wet in that unit there, all right?
Yeah,
But he's a great guy, born and raised in Norristown, Notre Dame, But great, he's a real common sense judge. I mean,
Yes, he's wonderful.
we got a lot of good judges in Montgomery County.
Excellent.
I can't.
And you
I go
just-
back when I was a policeman, Judge Morse, Judge Cirillo, oh, man, they were all great.
Well, Judge
But-
Hodgson, you just mentioned, he's our president judge.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's quite,
Yeah.
he's the tough
great.
guy.
He used to come to the fights. I used to referee fight down at Scranton, not Scranton, the Spectrum, where they're going to knock down, But let's talk about a current event, Tiger Woods, okay? Now, I never met him, and I've been around celebrities. When I was boxing, Rocky Marciano, world champion, Mayor Rizzo, the different celebrities. Mike Grant was fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world in Madison Square Garden, and he was there. Publicity, TV, and all, and yes, women do go after him, but the guy has to have some kind of moral or whatever, some kind of, temptations in everybody to control it, okay? But I think, now, Tiger, if I was one of your buddies, I would say some of the people you have around you are just as responsible for you going bad, because they knew, now I'm just saying, if he was fooling around, now these women saying, but he admitted in a way, in a roundabout way. But if he, the district attorney has a good friend will not let a friend drive drunk. A good friend will not let a guy fool around knowing that he's got a wife and kids and a reputation to take care of, okay? So that friends around you, they're really not friends when they allow, bringing girls in or whatever, but that's mine. And then another thing, I think the newspaper, sports writers, they glorify these people. I mean, I look at the newspaper, there's 3 pages about the current news of things that affect me, and then 8 pages of sports, how many, where they go to get their hair done, how many homes they got, So naturally girls are going to go, but you got to know how to bob and weave.
Well,
Am I right?
Well, I think the Tiger Woods situation is a little more, it's sort of
But
complicated.
you go into the nitty-grits of it, but I'm just,
Yeah. Well, from what I read in the paper, again, there may have been this incident involving the car collision, and the speculation is it may have involved some domestic violence. We don't know it.
We don't know yet, no.
We don't know.
No,
So
they said he didn't have no shoes on. Now, what were you, 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're driving a car and you hit the fire plug in front of your house in a tree, and you had no shoes on? He must have been on the lam. He must have been running. Maybe she was, I don't know.
You think
But you start putting
So
things
we
together.
don't
She's chasing
know.
that guy. Good thing he don't belong to a shooting gallery, because she had a golf club rather than a gun.
I saw a figure
That would have been,
I saw a figure that he gets $111 million a year in endorsements.
oh, yeah.
And now the
That's on the tip of the ice.
Well, the speculation is that might be affected. But at this point, there doesn't appear to be any provable domestic violence, anything that can be charged, from what I can read.
I don't want to pollute the water I drink being a former police officer, but I would say, and I know your unit, a police officer goes to the house, there's a possibility of violence. He's going to have somebody follow up, okay? Now, when he got to the scene there, here's a guy that's, no shoes, 2:30 in the morning. I don't know what the situation
Smashed
was.
windshield, smashed window.
Yeah, smashed, 2 windows broken in the back. And you get a woman with a golf club, and she starts breaking the back windows. For what? She must have been mad, unless she's working with some glass company, But we learn by other people's mistakes. So the holidays are coming. I feel bad for the family, the children, okay? That families have to part when the time when they should be getting together, Christmas time, and so, I don't want to get emotional about that, but I feel sorry for him. But Tiger, you don't know how to bob and weave, okay? And maybe if your dad was still living, he would have said, hey, I don't know, good family. I know Rocky Marciano, when we were up at Grossinger's and all, he had his brothers and his mother and his father and everybody's around. He's always protected, not protected, but around him to advise him, see. And maybe that's what happened. He didn't have the right people around him, My mother would say, tell me who you travel with and I'll tell you who you are,
Oh, interesting.
So now tell me about the economy. That causes that. Tell me something about that.
Yeah, I do find in a number of my cases that some of the arguments that then lead to hitting or striking, pushing, whatever, the arguments can pertain to, financial trouble. That can be the start of it, and then it unfortunately escalates. And it's very sad because there can be children in the home and witnessing this. So we prosecute everything from harassments, pushing, shoving, to assaults where there's bodily injury, to aggravated assault where there's serious bodily injury, and all the way up to homicide, unfortunately. And it's, it can run the gamut. Yeah. So we're very busy in the DA's office, and we're trying to keep people safe, and we're concerned about the economy and victims.
What I like about Lisa Furman, that she's doing something not only for prevention, rather than just arrest and lock up, arrest and lock. Just like what she's having at their thing with the unit, what's that, the unit for kids that did a fundraiser for?
The Mission Kids?
Yeah, the Mission Kids.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing. That would have a facility where children could be interviewed, safe, protected. Yeah, that's a fabulous charity.
All right. When I was a policeman, I started in Northtown in 1951, and I had no training. They just put me on the street with a gun and a badge, and we doing the family arguments, and then there used to be real family arguments, a lot more drinking, and there was a lot more bar rooms, and there was more bar rooms in Norristown then than there was churches. Now there's more churches than bar rooms in Norristown. But and we go there, and anything, I don't know. Some people, I come from a family with 4 boys and 4 girls. Okay, and there was arguments and all, and I said some police officers come from a family, they had no brothers or sisters. They don't know what a family argument is, And so I had that little bit of training how to, get in there and talk and, and try to calm things down.
Well, then that the most dangerous calls the police officers go out on are the domestic violence calls. Right. It's very heated, and it can be potentially dangerous for the officers themselves. They can get hurt. And a number of my cases, the officers are hurt.
Right. I remember one time we went in there, and the girl, the wife or girlfriend had her eye was swelling up. And women, for some reason, whether they get hit, they turn black and blue real fast, And so I go over there and I'm keeping the guy back, and well, I'm in his house, You get out of here, I didn't have all that training, whether I should be in there, whether I had a warrant or what, all that stuff. In the meantime, I start pushing him back, getting back, and here she complained, called the police. And when I start pushing it back, she jumped on my neck and she wanted to choke me. I just want to go. So
you couldn't win.
Some of the problems, So now.
Well, you mentioned training. That's interesting. Lisa Furman does make sure that we conduct trainings.
That's
all
right.
of the captains.
We didn't have that. And I know that's part of your unit. Tell me something about that.
We go out to the Fire Academy in Conshohocken and conduct a large training for police officers.
Right.
And sometimes we have people from probation that show up. And then I also go out to the roll call training so that we're right with the officers at the police stations. And we've done a number of trainings at the different township buildings throughout the county. And that's also that the police officers know, like as a prosecutor, what kind of evidence we're, hoping that they'll be able to secure photographs of injuries and, medical records and things like that. So it's something to help along the way.
In fact, my grandfather's brother was a carabinieri in Italy, but I'm the only one that was in the police work in the whole family, I guess. And now I'm just glad to hear that my grandson is in the police academy right now.
Oh, wonderful! Congratulations.
He took they took the civil service test at the West Norton Police Department.
Fabulous.
And, but I talked to him, I'm not pushing. That's his thing. You get that job. I understand he broke the record on running there. He's doing good, He did 4 years in the Marines, and then he got 4 years in Temple because they give him money to go to school afterwards. And so he's real good athletic.
Quite a guy.
Then last 2 months ago, he got in that celebrity boxing, You know, I got him and I said, I want you to get one fight under your belt, you know.
Really?
Celebrity boxing. He knocked the guy out in 17 seconds of the first round.
Whoa.
Over in Broomall. So I just wish that he does, and I keep telling him, you know, if you want to become a policeman, get to know the people. Get to know the people, you know. I mean, it's good, you know, that you have all this training, you need it. He's getting all that test them after one test after the other, all kinds of for shooting and things that I never, they just give me a gun and a badge, believe me, and put me out in the street, okay? So thank God I didn't shoot nobody, you know.
Well, I'm sure you get some good on-the-job training. I mean, that's very valuable.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
yes. So,
So-
but, okay, now, what are some of the classic, if somebody has a reporting, that people want to know. The district attorney is your lawyer. People think that they have to go get a lawyer because their husband or boyfriend or somebody's beating them
Oh,
up.
no,
But
no.
the district attorney is your lawyer. It don't cost you money to go to the district attorney, right?
No, well,
People
no,
don't know that.
we're there and we like to help victims. Of course, the usual first step is to go to the police and, you know, file an incident
Right.
report. And then the police, you know, follow through, do further investigation,
Follow
whatever.
up.
And then if charges are filed, you know, you go to the local district justice and then it comes up. But, you know, I'm sometimes in at the ground floor with some of the victims. You know, if I get a phone call, you know, work hand in hand with the police. And I will say, you know, I know it's at the holidays, that a number of these service organizations in this area can be very helpful to the families, you know, the victims of domestic violence and the children.
What do you mean?
Laurel
There's
House.
certain
There's
volunteer?
Yeah, Women's Center is available to help victims. Laurel House, the Victim Service Center. We have some
Okay.
fabulous organizations
They
here.
help out.
They help out. You might want to get one of those people for your show.
Well, yeah, well, you're my contact, you know?
There you go.
Come on,
I'll give you some names
I want
later.
people to know, you know what they say, like, an informed nation's a peaceful nation, you know?
Well, Laurel House actually has safe haven. If a woman, let's say for the sake of argument, it's a woman, it's the middle of the night, she's been assaulted, she has children, she has nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go.
She doesn't have family nearby. She could, you know, it's possible she could be put up
Yeah.
at Laurel House for up to 30 days, and
Yeah.
then they have transitional housing. So there's some fabulous resources out there in this area. We're very fortunate here.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's just, you touched on it, you know. At one time, I went into a family disturbance, and I could hear the husband saying, "What are you going to do? You can't go nowhere. You know, you're nothing without me. You know, you can't go anywhere. You got no place to go. Your mom and pop is over, whatever, another state or something, you know." So she felt, and I heard that, him saying that.
Undermining her
Now,
self-confidence.
where she has a place to go, you know, you have to have a place to, you know, to go, you know, we call it alternative, not alternative, but
Yeah, the
an
housing.
option to go someplace. But if you feel trapped, I can't go, and my mother's over in Yokohama or someplace, or New York or something, and who's going to take care of the kids and all? So thank God that you have units to be able to help people, not only to arrest, but also to help the victim. And that's
Oh, sure.
important.
And
you
it's
know.
helpful that the community supports the victims of domestic violence. It's not a stigma, you're a victim.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, through no fault of your own that you've been assaulted or whatever has happened to you. So, but we have all sorts of cases. We have the assault cases, we have stalking,
Right.
which can be very
Oh,
scary.
yeah, that's.
Yeah, and we have,
What's the scoop on that? But celebrities.
somebody
status or
can't let
just-
go. Somebody
Right.
just watches somebody and won't let go and
Yeah.
calls them and emails them and, you know, it's a terrible thing to be a victim of that.
You know, we get back to that celebrity thing, you know, I think some of these celebrities, they think are more concerned about doing good than being good. Right?
That's interesting.
You know?
Mhm.
And once they make it, and they got money, you know, and then they're away from home, they got the same thing with a juvenile. He has the opportunity to become a delinquent because he hookies school, and he figures, well, the people are all out working and nobody home. That's the opportunity's there, you know, for him to hookie school and go and rob a house. So you got to eliminate that opportunity. Now,
Well-
Tiger, he had an opportunity traveling all over in different hotels and all, where, you know, whatever. But
Well, it's hopeful that he could get his act together and maybe family
yeah,
counseling,
yeah.
get a grip on what's going on here. A real wake-up call. I mean, the whole nation's watching, isn't it?
Well, that's right. That's
But
right.
like I said, you know, right now, we don't know exactly what happened in that
I
cross
like
situation.
to put things in personal. When I first became a police officer, okay, and I put that uniform on, okay, people were saying hello to me that never, I don't even know, a guy said hello, but I forgot I have a uniform on, you know? And then I became a motorcycle police officer, leather jacket, you know, boom, boom, you know, I guess I was attractive to some women, you know? And the next thing you know, I'm seeing, this one lady, she used to call at like everybody. So I come on duty at 8 o'clock, 8:30, whatever it was, and she'd get a call about 10 o'clock, and she'd say, I want to see Sergeant Cisco. Will you please come to the house? I have a problem with my son. I said, all right, so I go there, and next thing you know, she goes to the door, and she has a very flimsy lingerie, I guess, and she said, will you come in? Come on now, so I find out later that she was an alcoholic. She used to drink in the morning, and then all of a sudden I was attractive to her, I wasn't a handsome guy or anything, but I guess the uniform, but thank God, hey, goodbye, I give the Cisco blessing out, But see, that's another thing about police officers too, You have to be, you've got a wife and kid and all, sometimes the opportunity is there, you get the girl, all of a sudden, oh, you're so beautiful. And I say, come on, boy, stick with it, think, think, okay?
Well, like I said, we don't know exactly what happened.
We don't know, but we got a pretty good idea. Yeah. But he already said he's apologizing to the skirts and all that stuff. So
yeah.
And then all these girls are coming forward.
That is amazing. The numbers are growing every day. I don't.
Well, he traveled every day. But all right, okay. Now, tell me, how long you been on this job now?
I've been doing domestic violence work since 2003, January 2003. So that's a long time.
Yeah.
I've done over 2,000 cases in that period of time. Before that, I prosecuted drug cases, economic crimes. I'm a former assistant U.S. attorney.
You also were a state legislator.
I was. I was
Right.
a state representative for the.
Now, that gives you an experience of making the laws and enforcing the laws, right?
That's
Is that,
true.
Is that
I was
right?
in Harrisburg, and
What was that experience of being a legislator?
it's totally different than being a prosecutor.
Right.
It's just totally different. I mean, a prosecutor, you're more, working with law enforcement, and you're more about, going to trial and cases and all that. But legislator, you're responsive to the community. Again, it is public service.
Right,
I mean,
sure,
both
right.
fields are sort of public service oriented. But, the whole idea of running an election and, campaigning, that's all totally different.
Where are you from? Where you?
I'm originally from New York. Then my parents moved
What
to
part of New York?
Staten Island.
Staten Island?
Yeah.
Brooklyn, New York. I was
Really,
born in
really?
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Myrtle Avenue.
Then
Myrtle.
they moved to Stroudsburg in the Poconos.
Oh.
So I spent many years in Stroudsburg in the Poconos. And then Philadelphia. I love Philadelphia,
Oh,
this
yeah,
area.
yeah,
It's
Philadelphia.
great.
You're right.
But no, the interesting thing I thought about being in politics, one of the things is going door to door and meeting the people
Meeting
on
the
their door.
people,
I
yeah.
did 7,000 door-to-doors as a state representative, and it's just amazing. I mean, I had ladies, I remember a couple ladies in Bridgeport, as I came door to door to talk about politics, they were inviting me in for cake and coffee, and it was so sweet. I mean,
Yeah.
people can be amazing.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And it was a very gratifying at
Right,
times to
right.
see how nice people can be.
Now, if a lady goes to the police department and she makes a complaint, okay, and the police will make an initial investigation, okay, and then the rest is made, you assist the district, you assist the police officers on getting the warrants or make sure
They
the
actually-
paperwork, because you don't want to lose
No.
they want to lose a fight in the dressing room.
No, they're pretty good. I mean, they're very well educated in this area in Montgomery County. But it can be that, like you said, after the fact, she goes to the police station and reports it. And if she's got visible injuries, of course, they would take
Always
photographs.
take pictures of it, right?
Oh, photographs are so important.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
even, wait a couple.
Wait. What is the best thing for a lady to do? Now, take pictures of her. What's a basic thing?
Basic things would be photographs, the first, the initial injuries, and then depending on how serious it is, this is assuming she hasn't gone to the hospital,
right.
because then we'd get the medical records. But even if you wait a couple days, the bruises can be even more extreme.
right.
So you might want follow-up photographs. But if she goes to the police station, she could give a written statement about what happened, a Q&A, or and then, if there were any witnesses, they would want to be interviewed, like neighbors,
Yeah.
children.
And then sometimes they turn around and want to withdraw the charges, too.
That
What do you do in a case like that?
I try to encourage them to cooperate with
Okay.
us, because I think in the long run, they'll be happy that they had that personal
Right, right.
satisfaction, and also that he's held accountable, If there are a few men that are assaulted as well. I want to say that. It's not always the woman, but
Right, oh, yeah.
the vast majority, over 95% of the women.
They're ashamed to say that they're getting beat up. Oh, yeah.
But it may well be he'll get.
I don't want to be picking on men and all,
Yeah,
but,
I know.
this is problems.
But he might get the counseling he needs, and then,
Okay.
life could be better for
You
both
know
of
what?
them.
Our half hour is up.
Is it? Oh, I
my
enjoyed
God.
it.
We keep going, Look, I really appreciate you coming here. And ladies and gentlemen, the holidays are here. Enjoy with your family. And I hope everything works out with the family, with Tiger Woods and whoever else, celebrities. Please, going to be a celebrity, really be a celebrity and really think, before you start doing anything wrong. Don't do anything wrong. You don't have to worry about it. Okay? And so I like to close it with, we learn from other people's mistakes. So read the paper, watch the news, find out what's going wrong, and then don't do the same thing. So, Wallace, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And
happy holidays.
Happy holiday, and Buona Natale. And God bless each and every one of you, okay? Thank you. All right, salute.